Hello all, it's Griffin Rails here. It's been a long time since I've made a video, or like a proper video at least. And this is more of just a rambling, unscripted sort of update video on the state of this channel and what's going to happen in the future. Now, of course, I said I was going to move to Odyssey. I uploaded like one meme onto there, and then I gave up. Why? Because the website itself quickly just became a hive mind of just a bunch of like really extreme political content. I don't want my stuff affiliated with that, especially since, a lot of my target audience would be, people that are A, not trying to find political content, or B, maybe even children. I don't want them, looking into like a QAnon stuff while trying to search up Griffin Rails. No. So now that that's out of the way, let's get back into the actual YouTube channel itself. So, of course, there has been no update to the ad blocker standards on YouTube, and YouTube, again, has just slowly been getting worse and worse and worse. But the thing is, they are pretty much the only website out there that has sufficient servers, sufficient content, it's just the only sufficient and effective website for people that want to make videos like me, or documentaries, or train spotting clips and whatnot. There's stuff like Facebook and whatnot. Facebook, of course, is great for train spotters, but still, same for Instagram. But YouTube, for me, will always be the best way to go, especially since it's a lot more user-friendly than anything else out there, I would say. Even through all of its stupid updates over the years, it is a lot more user-friendly. And of course, ever since I stopped uploading to YouTube, I'm going to be honest, I haven't really been feeling, that much better about myself. If anything, I've felt worse. So since YouTube itself has been a massive part of my life, I've been doing this ever since 2013. It was a childhood dream of mine to become a YouTuber. Obviously now it isn't, but still, and it's more about you guys as well. I've spoken to quite a couple of my fans, quite a couple of my friends out there, and quite a lot of them say you should just return to YouTube, continue doing what you love. And I mean, you know what? I'm going to finally put my foot down and say I'm going to do it. So yes, I will be returning to YouTube. I have a couple videos planned, although let me just say, a lot of times when people say that they have videos planned, especially me, it's usually just like loose ideas in the back of their head that will likely never get finished. I have so many unfinished videos that will probably never be completed. Some of them I started like in 2022 and still haven't completed. Remember when I was doing all those like tram videos, like the Euro tram, the 134S? I had an entire Vario tram documentary that I was working on. I haven't even touched that in like 6 months. And yeah. So there's quite a lot of ideas that I want to finish off, videos I want to create. And of course, in the meantime, I've been doing a lot of, and I mean a lot of just regular train spotting, going out, chasing and whatnot. I've been trying to get, as much footage I can of stuff that's going to be retiring soon, going out to new spots and whatnot. So so what you're viewing now is a spot that I found in the holidays, and I just spent like 1 or 2 hours there. It's a really nice area, just for relaxing, honestly, since a lot of my train spotting, I do it as just kind of a thing to, relax, escape from, stress and whatnot. And also just, because it's fun to do. I won't get into like the nitty-gritty details and whatnot yet. The reason I quit, of course, was because of just how toxic the whole quote-unquote community around that stuff had become. I remember counting once, since everyone in the community just copies and pastes the exact same video hoping that they can it's just like a get views quick scheme. I counted once. This was 2 or 3 years ago, by the way, that there were 84 documentaries. Yes, 84 documentaries that were like Kismet train collision, like 15 years later. 84 of them. And all of them were only like 2 or 3 minutes long. They didn't even go into what actually happened or like any ideas and whatnot towards it, which is kind of, heartbreaking towards me, since like, while yes, at first it was more just an idea of like, oh wow, this one guy in America is doing this thing, I wonder if I made some for Australia. As it went on, I started to learn quite a lot more about rail safety and, the sort of violations that kind of just go along unnoticed. I'm not, by the way, when I say that, I'm not like trying to target any specific organisation or whatnot, but just worldwide overall, there are a lot of organisations that, turn a blind eye to that sort of stuff. Of course, I can't comment on any of them, otherwise, I could get in trouble. But still, yeah. What else? What else should I talk about? Oh yeah, I've tried to get a lot more involved in the like real railway community. So like volunteering at heritage organisations, and I've also started to diversify my interests a bit. So I've been getting into buses, of course, for a couple of years. I even ran a bus tour on Facebook. Great time out, by the way. I've joined up with the Tram Museum. I've joined up with Historic Electric Traction. I'm thinking of joining up with the Sydney Heritage Fleet or maybe the Cape Don Society. Although I don't think I will, since I don't have the time for them, but that's its own thing. Yeah, so I've been getting a lot more into ships, buses, trams, and, that sort of stuff, pretty much. Since I feel like there's a lot of parts around there that need a lot more appreciation and love, especially for the maritime sector, since maritime heritage especially has been on... Well, it's not really been on a downfall, but it's had a lot of blows towards it in recent years. Obviously with disasters such as the Barragoula sinking as well. And something I want to do for this whole community, since the train spotting community, trust me, you guys have probably saved my life. Like, having all of these people all getting along, all sharing their interests, not fighting. Well, that's a lie, actually. There are so many, like, stupid dramas and beefs in the train community, but still. Yeah, just having you guys there, looking out for each other, especially those have, always been by my side. Shout out to them. And I really do mean that, like, you guys are what keeps me going, You guys are the reason why I still, have hope in, well, where am I even going with this? I'm kind of just rambling. But, since I've had a lot of stuff going on recently, I'm not going to get into it, obviously, but having you guys by my side has been a massive factor. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone. Yeah, you guys will rock. I've debated doing like some meet and greets or whatever, but I've decided probably not. I do want to be, I don't really know if I want to be like a more high profile guy or a more low profile guy in the train community, but I mean, overall, I want to kind of just go back on some of the things I've said over the years and whatnot, tie up any loose ends, since people change, of course, and back when I was younger, probably when I was more active making videos, I said a lot of stuff, and, some of that stuff I still agree with, a lot of it I don't. People change, things change, especially with my plans of possibly, trying out for Sydney Trains for work experience or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Since there's something I want to address in the train community, there is so much unnecessary drama, especially when a lot of it is just forgiven in a few months regardless. Now, I'm not going to go into reasons why that a lot of this drama goes up, since we would be here all day, but it's an issue that really needs to be addressed, and There's a lot of bullying of people. There's a lot of harassment, like even physical, like in real life harassment. There's a lot of people who, are manipulative of others, especially in like places like the Roblox community with one certain group beginning with a W. And there's, even people like breaking the law while train spotting numerous times. I don't condone that at all. I feel like it's something that puts, the rest of us, it gives us a really bad image of who we are. You know what? People who, like trespass onto railway property or like climb onto things, maybe like even pretend to be like other station staff and whatnot. That's just something you should never do in my books. There's also a lot of people who, fake a lot of this stuff or making out things to be a lot worse for what they are because they just want to get attention or whatnot. Again, I really don't condone any of that stuff. Just, all you got to really understand is just be a normal person, just don't harass people, just be kind, and you'll get a lot further in life and just the community as general. So, about this channel, I'd like to go back to just uploading regular sort of train spotting content. I'd like to go into my more factual videos, maybe even some train crash documentaries. But a big change I want to make is that I don't want to just make it about trains, since I have a lot of enthusiasm for other things too, such as buses, maybe even planes, trams, ships, ferries, trucks, just anything transport related really, or just even history related. I'd love to make stuff about, all of that sort of things. I always used to, when I was younger, I had a lot of changing interests over time. So when I was really young, believe it or not, but I was a massive person when it came to garbage trucks. And then that, of course, changed over to trains and whatnot. But I had phases where I was into like planes, cars, farming equipment even once. What else? Oh yeah, and also stuff that just wasn't transport, of course. I'm a normal person. I don't just like transport. I was a big Sonic fan. I'm a big fan of games like One Shot and whatnot nowadays. Other sort of indie media like Ramshackle, really good. And yeah. So expect a lot more different sort of content on Griffin Rails. I've debated whether or not to retire the name Griffin Rails and just go for my real name or something, but I've decided it's so iconic over the years that I'm just going to have to keep it as Griffin Rails. I guess my name is now Mr. Rails, as many people call me nowadays. I mean, I'm not complaining. Yeah. Now, I released this video at a very bad time since holidays are about to end and I'm going straight into an assessment block. So I have about like 5 or 7 assessments all to do in about a month. So of course I'm not going to be uploading a lot of videos now, but yeah, just give it a month or two and I should be back to properly uploading videos. One thing I'd like to do before I leave, I'd just like to promote some of the groups that I volunteer for. So Historic Electric Traction, come along, donate, come along to some of our tours. We have one scheduled for August 31st, a wedding tour tribute. It's a big tour. It's commemorating a tour that we did in 2002, I believe, for the wedding of Paul Matthews. So come along, I'll be there, a lot of other people will be there. It will be a great time had by all, I am sure of it. And also the Sydney Tramway Museum. As a lot of you might have heard, we've had problems with our trackage and whatnot. We have a lot of things that we need to restore, a lot of things we need to repair. And no matter what your, viewpoint on things is, I think we can all agree that we don't want to have, the whole thing lost over time. So, I believe, please come down a couple weekends. We have several events on throughout the year, like very numerous amount of events. Come down, ride some trams, buy some merch, maybe even stick around and volunteer, since we do need a lot of volunteers, especially young age. I myself am the second youngest in both Het and Spur, which is Tram Museum. And yeah, a lot of these groups need your help to keep going. A lot of other YouTubers have started donating their ad revenue to whatever sort of preservation groups that they volunteer at. For example, Tres to Leg One, who's both a member of Tram Museum and Het, as well as some other groups as well. I might start doing that if I can organise ad revenue on my videos, since people have to watch adverts on my videos anyway now, so I might as well, put it to good. Yeah, and that's kind of it. So I'll see you in like a couple months maybe. I hope you will have a great day, and I never really made outros on my YouTube channel, so I don't really know what to say here, but goodbye.